back in that day.
Her story is more common than you might think.
It is a helpless feeling. It causes the work environment to feel unsafe, unstable.
The victim of sexual harassment in the workplace, she asked that her identity be concealed for her privacy. We'll call her Jane, but her experiences mirror those of women from every walk of life.
It's hard to relate sometimes to people in the public eye, in the entertainment industry, or the political world. And I know from firsthand experience that these occurrences are happening right here in our little area. And I thought it was important to talk about that in a way that women in Northeast Wisconsin could more readily relate to.
Now retired, Jane says she's experienced everything from derogatory comments to unwanted touches in the workplace. And oftentimes, when she reached out to supervisors for help, she got an all too familiar response.
When I spoke to his supervisor, the response that I got was, gosh, it would be really terrible for this young man to have this allegation on his record moving forward.
And things got worse later in her career when one instance of harassment crossed the line to sexual assault.
It shouldn't be surprising to anyone, considering the toxic climate that we've all been exposed to for decades and decades and decades, when one day it leads to the unthinkable happening behind closed doors. It snowballs.
Jane's perpetrator was someone she knew, a boss, and this is not uncommon.
Over 90% know their perpetrator, so you're blurring some lines. Stranger danger happens, but it's much more rare than what people believe, because that's typically what makes the headlines.
High-profile cases of sexual misconduct and assault have filled the headlines really since October of 2017, but sexual assault and harassment are more than issues that live in the headlines or on social media.
It happens. It's real. It's happening around us every day.
I know that future victories are on the horizon.
The Me Too and Time's Up movements have started a conversation on the subject like never before. Shannon Kenevin heads the Voices of Men, a local organization dedicated to making men part of the solution to sexual violence.
I've never seen so many men talking about domestic violence and sexual assault as I have this past year. And that's huge. You know, women have certainly been talking about it all along, you know, for decades, for probably centuries. But now men talking about it, and that's really important to have a broader conversation in society.
Every 98 seconds, someone in the U.S. is sexually assaulted. That means by the time you finish watching this story, another person has become a victim. And here in Wisconsin, 2 out of 3 of those sexual assaults go unreported.
They're afraid to come forward. They're afraid they're going to be blamed, that there's going to be shame involved, and that they're not going to be listened to and they're not going to be taken seriously.
So it kind of gives them that freedom.
Green Bay detective Cassie Pakala investigates sexual assault. She says prevention is possible, and it begins with educating our kids.
Talk to your children about keeping their bodies safe. Talk to your teenagers about engaging in safe behavior with their bodies and online.
From Door County to the Lakeshore and the Fox Valley, advocates are in every corner of the state, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, to help victims find healing.
Staff was...
Jane wanted to share her story to show that this is not just a problem in Hollywood or on Capitol Hill. It happens here at home. She hopes this will keep the conversation going and encourage local victims to get the help they need.
I think these movements that we're seeing now on a large scale, Me Too and Time's Up, they're going to be incredibly helpful in opening dialogue and moving towards solutions.
Brittany Folkers, Local 5 News.